The space station hung silently above the pale blue and green surface of the distant exoplanet. Its metallic walls reflected the soft glow of distant stars, and the hum of machinery filled the corridors. Commander Arian walked alone down the main docking bay, his boots echoing softly on the steel floor. He had been expecting routine maintenance ships, cargo deliveries, and occasional travelers, but nothing had prepared him for what was about to arrive. A small shuttle slowly descended from the dark void outside, moving with elegance and precision. The automated docking system guided it gently into place, and the airlock hissed as it sealed. The station's sensors registered a single occupant, a human-shaped figure, but something about her presence immediately caught Aaron's attention. He felt a mix of curiosity and caution, instincts honed by years of experience in deep space. The airlock opened, and the figure stepped into the docking bay. She was barefoot, her steps light but confident, and she wore a long, flowing robe that shimmered softly under the station lights. The robe seemed almost ceremonial, but it moved with her as if alive, floating slightly with each step. She allowed the robe to fall from her shoulders just enough to reveal a practical, yet elegant suit underneath, designed for both protection and freedom of movement. Aaron noted her calm, deliberate movements. She did not rush, yet every motion seemed purposeful, like someone who knew exactly where she belonged. "Commander Aaron," she said, her voice clear and calm, echoing slightly in the docking bay. "I am Leora. I have come a long way to speak with you. Tonight, humanity must show what it is capable of." Her tone was firm, yet there was something almost magnetic about the way she said it. Aaron's mind raced. She was human-like, but there was an aura of authority that suggested she was far more than a simple visitor. Aaron approached carefully. "You're a long way from home, Leora. What exactly is your mission?" he asked. His eyes scanned her, noting the subtle markings on her suit and the way her gaze held a quiet intensity. Something about her made him feel as though this encounter would change everything. "I am an envoy from a council that watches civilizations across the stars," Leora explained. "We have observed humanity for a long time from afar. You have potential, Commander, but potential must be proven. The night ahead will test your creativity, your courage, and your ability to work together as a species. Humanity's future among the stars depends on it." Aaron felt a shiver of both excitement and unease. The station had hosted many dignitaries and scientists, but none had spoken of humanity's future in such grand terms. He realized that this was no ordinary visit. It was a turning point. "Tonight?" he repeated, his voice low. "What kind of test are you talking about?" Leora's gaze softened for a moment as if she were measuring his resolve. "It is a trial designed to reveal your strengths. There will be challenges you have never faced, dangers that cannot be predicted. But humans have something unique, an ability to adapt, to find solutions even when hope seems lost. That is why I am here. Tonight, you will show the galaxy what humans are truly capable of." Aaron considered her words carefully. He had always believed in humanity's ingenuity, in its courage under pressure. Yet the idea of a test in the vast unknown, with stakes beyond Earth itself, was overwhelming. He glanced at his crew who were nearby, preparing for routine shifts, unaware of the extraordinary visitor in their midst. He knew he would need their trust, their loyalty, and their ingenuity if they were to face whatever challenge Leora had planned. "Very well," he said finally. "If this is a test, we will rise to meet it. But I need to know, will this be a trial we face here on the station, or somewhere else?" Leora's lips curved into a faint, knowing smile. "It will begin here, but it will not stay confined. The stars themselves will become part of the trial. You will see that the universe is larger, stranger, and more demanding than anything you have ever imagined. You must trust yourselves and each other, completely." For a moment, Aaron felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. The fate of humanity, or at least its reputation among distant watchers, rested on him and his crew. And yet, alongside that weight, there was an undeniable thrill. The unknown had always called to humans, and now it was calling to him in the most personal and urgent way. The lights of the station seemed to shine brighter, the hum of machinery more alive, as if the entire structure sensed the beginning of something extraordinary. Aaron extended his hand to Leora. She took it with calm confidence, her grip firm but not overpowering. In that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. The night ahead would change everything. As she stepped further into the station, barefoot and purposeful, Aaron knew that humanity's journey was about to enter a new chapter, one that would demand courage, intelligence, and heart. And though he could not yet imagine the trials to come, he felt a spark of hope. Humanity had faced the unknown before, and it would do so again. Tonight, they would prove themselves to the stars. The station's corridors felt different now, charged with anticipation. Every hum of machinery and every flicker of the lights seemed sharper, as if the very walls were aware that something extraordinary was about to unfold. Commander Aaron led Leora and his crew into the main observation deck. The large, transparent panels revealed the planet below, a swirling mix of blue oceans and green continents, untouched by human hands. Beyond it, the stars stretched endlessly, a silent promise of challenges yet to come. Leora moved with quiet confidence, her bare feet making no sound on the polished floor. She paused at the center of the deck, her eyes scanning each member of the crew. "This is where it begins," she said. Her voice carried authority, yet it was calm, almost gentle. "The trial will test not only your strength, but your ability to think, to act, and to work together. The maze you will face is not physical alone. It is mental, emotional, and moral. You must remain alert, adaptable, and united." Aaron felt a mixture of excitement and unease. He had led many missions, faced countless technical failures, and even survived dangerous storms in deep space. Yet the challenge Leora spoke of was unlike anything he had ever imagined. It was not just a mission, it was a test of humanity itself. Leora activated a holographic display that filled the room with light. The image formed a complex, shifting network of pathways, platforms, and energy fields floating in space. "This is the maze of Erythra," she explained. "It orbits a neutron star. The environment is unstable. Gravitational waves shift without warning. Energy fields change patterns in seconds. To navigate it, you will need your minds as much as your bodies." The crew gathered around, studying the hologram with awe. Their minds raced, trying to predict the movements, the obstacles, and the timing. Even the most experienced engineers and pilots felt a pang of doubt. Aaron could sense it in their faces, the same doubt he felt in the pit of his stomach. Yet he also felt a spark of hope. Humans were clever. They had solved problems no one else could, adapted to situations that seemed impossible, and survived against overwhelming odds. "You will enter the maze in small teams," Leora continued. "Each team will face different paths. Cooperation is key. Communication, creativity, and trust will determine your success." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Tonight, every decision matters. Every action has consequences. The maze will challenge your instincts, test your courage, and reveal the truth of your character." Aaron turned to his crew. "We've faced danger before, but nothing like this. We'll need to stay sharp, work together, and trust each other. That's the only way we get through this. Are you ready?" One by one, his team nodded. There was no hesitation, only a quiet determination. They had trained for emergencies, solved countless technical problems, and survived the unknown many times before. Now they would face a challenge that was different, one that required every skill, every ounce of intelligence, and every drop of courage they possessed. The first team suited up in the station's specialized maneuver suits, designed for zero-gravity navigation and energy field resistance. Aaron inspected each suit, checking life support, propulsion systems, and communication links. Everything had to be perfect. Any small mistake could mean failure or worse. As the teams prepared to enter the maze, Leora's eyes lingered on Aaron. "Remember," she said softly, "humanity's greatest strength is not in technology alone. It is in your ability to think, to feel, and to adapt. Trust yourselves, trust each other, and do not be afraid to take calculated risks. You are more capable than you know. The docking bay doors opened to reveal the entrance to the maze, a shimmering portal of energy suspended in space. The gravitational currents around the neutron star tugged at the edges of reality, making the portal ripple like liquid glass. Aaron felt a surge of adrenaline as he led the first team forward. Every step, every movement, required careful control. The maze was alive, shifting, testing them from the very first moment. Inside, the team encountered the first set of obstacles: floating platforms that rotated unpredictably, energy barriers that pulsed with timing patterns, and paths that disappeared and reappeared without warning. The crew communicated constantly, calling out movements, predicting patterns, and helping each other maintain balance. Every instinct mattered, every choice had weight. Leora observed silently from the observation deck, her face calm but attentive. She made notes, occasionally adjusting energy flows to increase difficulty, always watching to see how humans reacted under pressure. She had witnessed countless species attempt this trial, but she had seen nothing like the determination and quick thinking of these humans. Even in the face of uncertainty, they adapted. They collaborated. They survived. Hours seemed to pass in a matter of minutes, yet the team pressed on. They faced failures and setbacks, but each mistake became a lesson. Each challenge strengthened their resolve. Aaron watched his crew, proud of their courage and ingenuity. He realized what Leora meant when she spoke of human strength. It was not just skill or technology. It was the mind, the heart, and the unyielding will to continue, no matter the odds. Finally, the first team reached the first checkpoint. The SEW energy field glowed green, signaling success. They had passed the initial trial, but everyone knew this was only the beginning. The maze was vast, its challenges increasing with every step. Yet despite the danger and uncertainty, a quiet excitement filled the team. They had proven, even in these first moments, that humans were capable of extraordinary things. As they regrouped, Aaron felt a sense of purpose unlike anything he had known. Humanity was being tested, not just as individuals, but as a species. And tonight, they would show the galaxy what humans were truly capable of. The maze stretched endlessly before them, an alien labyrinth of floating platforms, shifting energy fields, and glowing pathways. Commander Aaron led his crew cautiously, their suits glowing softly against the dark void of space. Every movement required calculation and trust, and every step carried risk. The air inside their helmets hummed with tension, each breath a reminder that failure could mean being lost in the maze forever. "This path looks stable for now," Aaron said, pointing toward a series of platforms that rotated slowly in a predictable pattern. "Move carefully and remember to communicate. One mistake could separate us." His voice was calm, but beneath it lay determination. He could feel the weight of responsibility pressing on him, not just for himself, but for every member of his team. Leora watched from the observation deck, silent and composed. Her eyes followed their movements like a master chess player, noting every decision and action. She had seen countless species attempt the maze, but humans were different. They did not panic when obstacles shifted. They did not freeze when patterns became unpredictable. Instead, they analyzed, adapted, and moved forward. She allowed herself a small smile. Their first trial had been encouraging, but the real challenge was just beginning. The first real obstacle appeared suddenly. A series of glowing energy barriers cut across the platforms, pulsing in irregular intervals. Some barriers were solid, some flickered and disappeared at the last moment, and others seemed to shift unpredictably. The crew froze for a split second, instinctively calculating the safest route. "Timing is everything," Aaron said, his voice steady over the comms. "Wait for the pattern, then move as a team. On my mark." He counted down silently with his hand. When the barriers pulsed again, the team moved in perfect coordination. Every step was measured, every jump precise. They reached the other side, hearts racing but bodies steady. "This is nothing," muttered Cale, one of the engineers, wiping sweat from his brow. "We can handle more." Aaron nodded. Focus on what we can control. The maze will test us, but it cannot break our resolve. As they advanced deeper, a new challenge emerged, a bridge of floating tiles that responded to thought. Each tile would lower if a person approached it with fear or doubt, and rise if approached with confidence and clarity. The crew had to balance mental focus with physical precision, or the tiles would vanish, leaving them adrift in the void. Aaron took a deep breath and stepped onto the first tile. His mind cleared, focusing only on the path ahead. The tile lowered smoothly, supporting his weight. One by one, the crew followed, matching their thoughts with their movements. Some faltered, tiles wobbling beneath them, but with encouragement and teamwork, they succeeded. Leora's eyes gleamed. Humans possessed a rare combination of intuition, courage, and adaptability that other species often lacked. Midway through the maze, an unexpected situation arose. One of the younger crew members, Tessa, became separated when an energy barrier shifted unpredictably. She floated helplessly, tether barely holding her in place. Aaron's instincts kicked in immediately. "Hold on, Tessa," he shouted, reaching out with a propulsion unit to stabilize her. The team coordinated, forming a human chain to pull her back. Each person relied on the other, trusting entirely in their collective skill. Finally, Tessa was safe, and the crew regrouped, hearts pounding. The near miss reminded them that courage alone was not enough. Trust and cooperation were essential. As they pressed forward, a strange phenomenon appeared, a holographic projection of an alien figure blocking their path. Its voice was calm but firm. "Choose wisely," it said. "Some paths lead to success, some to failure. Decisions will test not only skill, but judgment and morality." The crew hesitated, realizing that this was no longer just a test of agility or intellect. They were being challenged on character. Aaron studied the options carefully. One path offered a quick route, but it required leaving a part of the team behind temporarily. Another was longer, more complex, but kept everyone together. Without hesitation, Aaron chose the latter. "We succeed together or not at all," he said. His crew nodded, following his lead. The holographic figure nodded in acknowledgement before vanishing. Leora's calm voice echoed over the comms. "Well done. You have shown intelligence, courage, and compassion. These are the traits that distinguish humans. Many species choose speed or power, but you chose unity and care. That is why you endure where others fail." The team moved on, renewed with energy and confidence. The obstacles became more complex, but their teamwork grew stronger. Each challenge reinforced the truth that humanity's strength lay not only in technology or knowledge, but in empathy, cooperation, and courage under pressure. Finally, after what felt like hours in the maze, they reached a glowing checkpoint. The energy field pulsed green, signaling that they had passed the trial. The team exhaled collectively, some collapsing briefly in relief, others smiling with quiet pride. Aaron looked at his crew, their faces illuminated by the glow of the checkpoint. "We did it," he said. "But this is only the beginning. Keep your focus. The maze is vast and the test will only grow harder." Leora's calm figure appeared briefly in the corner of the observation deck. "You have passed the first major challenge, but remember, the true test is not only skill, it is heart. Continue to trust one another. Continue to believe in yourselves. Humanity is proving it is more capable than even you realize." As the team prepared for the next phase, a quiet determination filled them. They had faced danger, uncertainty, and fear, and they had not faltered. If this was a glimpse of what lay ahead, then they were ready. The maze was only the first step, but tonight, humanity had begun to show the galaxy what it was truly capable of. The maze seemed to grow larger and more unpredictable as the crew moved deeper into its shifting pathways. Floating platforms glimmered under the light of distant stars, twisting and turning in ways that challenged even the most experienced pilots. Commander Aaron's crew had grown confident after the first trials, but the challenges ahead were not just tests of skill. They were tests of trust and judgment. As they navigated a narrow bridge suspended above a void of swirling energy, A sudden movement caught their attention. A creature, or something that looked like one, emerged from the shadows. Its form was alien, with translucent skin that glowed faintly and eyes that seemed to reflect the stars themselves. Its presence was intimidating, but it did not attack. Instead, it observed. "Commander, what is that?" Kyle whispered over the comms, his voice tense. "I don't know yet," Aaron replied, keeping his tone steady. "But we proceed carefully, no sudden moves." The creature floated closer, and then unexpectedly it began to mirror the crew's movements. It seemed curious rather than hostile. Tessa, still recovering from her earlier separation, cautiously extended a hand, and the creature responded by moving gently alongside her. Irene watched closely, realizing that this was not an enemy. It was part of the maze's challenge. Leora's voice came through the comms, calm and observant. "This is the guardian of choices. It will test your ability to assess threats and act wisely. Many species panic or attack. Humans. You will need to show understanding and cooperation." Aaron nodded. "Team, stay calm. Observe. Don't react with aggression. This is about judgment." The crew moved forward carefully, allowing the Guardian to accompany them. Its movements were graceful and measured, almost as if it were offering guidance. Aaron realized that this was a test not of strength but of empathy. The maze had designed a challenge to see if humans could recognize intelligence and intention, even in an unfamiliar form. The Guardian led them to a section of the maze filled with rotating energy, barriers and platforms that shifted unpredictably. Normally, this section would be nearly impossible to navigate alone. But with the Guardian's presence, the crew could predict subtle changes in the environment. It was as if the creature could sense the safest path and communicate it without words. "Trust it," Aaron said quietly. "We don't fully understand it, but it is helping us. Watch the patterns it moves through." The crew followed, carefully aligning their movements with the Guardians. For the first time, they felt a sense of harmony with an alien presence. Every step, every adjustment, every calculated move became easier. The maze's shifting platforms no longer felt impossible. They felt like a puzzle they could solve together. But the test was not over. The Guardian suddenly paused near a narrow corridor that split into two paths. One path led to an immediate checkpoint, but would separate the Guardian from the team. The other path was longer, more complex, and kept the Guardian with them. The crew hesitated, realizing the moral choice they faced. Should they prioritize speed and personal success or unity and mutual respect? Aaron looked at his team. "We stick together," he said firmly. "This isn't just about reaching the checkpoint. It's about how we act. We don't abandon those who help us." The crew nodded. Step by step, they followed the longer path, careful not to lose sight of the Guardian. The alien moved alongside them, guiding them through the most dangerous sections of the maze. When a sudden gravitational surge threatened to separate them, the Guardian acted instantly, stabilizing the platforms and allowing the humans to pass safely. At the end of the section, the checkpoint glowed green, signaling success. The crew let out quiet cheers, relieved and proud. The Guardian lingered for a moment as if acknowledging their decision, then slowly faded into the maze's shifting patterns. Aaron felt a mix of awe and gratitude. They had faced the moral test perfectly, showing judgment, empathy, and teamwork. Leora's voice filled the comms, warm and approving. "You have succeeded in understanding the true lesson of this section. Many species would have chosen the fastest path, ignoring the needs of others. Humans, however, demonstrated thoughtfulness, cooperation, and respect. That is what sets you apart. You are not just clever. You are wise." The crew took a moment to recover, catching their breath and steadying their nerves. Each challenge in the maze had become more complex than the last. Yet with every trial, they grew stronger, more coordinated, and more confident. Aaron looked at his team, seeing not only skilled professionals but individuals who had risen to the level of true leadership and courage. "Keep moving," he said finally. "The maze is far from over. More challenges await. But we've learned something important tonight. We can face anything if we stay together, trust one another, and act with intelligence and heart. The team moved on, hearts steady, minds alert. The maze continued to shift around them, vast and unpredictable, but the crew felt a growing sense of purpose. Humanity was proving itself, not only to the alien observers but to the universe itself. And though the challenges ahead were unknown, one truth was clear. The strength of humans lay not just in technology or skill, but in courage, empathy, and the ability to act wisely when it mattered most. As they progressed deeper into the maze, Aaron knew that the true tests were still to come. But with each step, humanity's potential shone brighter, and the stars themselves seemed to take notice. The deeper they went into the maze, the more the environment changed. The familiar floating platforms and energy barriers were replaced by vast expanses of shimmering light and gravity that twisted unpredictably. Commander Aaron led his crew carefully, their suits adjusting constantly to the strange forces around them. Each step required complete attention. Every movement mattered, and mistakes were no longer just inconvenient. They could mean being lost in the maze forever. "This section is different," Tessa said, her voice calm but alert. "The gravity keeps shifting. We have to move slowly or we risk being thrown off completely." Aaron nodded, studying the patterns carefully. "We adapt. Remember everything we've learned. Trust each other, trust yourselves, and take it step by step. We've handled the impossible before, we can handle this." The team entered the next challenge, the Chamber of Stars. It was a zero-gravity expanse filled with floating obstacles, spinning platforms, and beams of light that pulsed like the heartbeat of the universe. Some obstacles moved in perfect rhythm. Others seemed chaotic, appearing and disappearing without warning. The crew could not rely solely on calculation. They had to react instinctively and coordinate perfectly. "Keep communication open," Aaron instructed. "We move as a single unit. One mistake and we're separated. Stick together, watch each other, and adjust quickly." The first obstacle came as a series of rotating light beams. Timing was critical. Kale, the engineer, analyzed the pattern and called out when to jump, dodge, and glide. Tessa led the team with precise movements, adjusting her trajectory to help the others avoid collisions. Aaron followed, guiding them through the shifting maze with calm authority. Halfway through, a sudden gravitational surge separated the crew. Platforms spun unpredictably, and Tessa found herself drifting toward a glowing rift that seemed endless. Aaron reacted instantly, propelling himself toward her. Using the suit's tether and carefully calculated thrusts, he reached her just in time. With a steady pull, he brought her back to safety. The near miss reminded everyone that in this part of the maze, courage alone was not enough. They needed focus, teamwork, and quick thinking. As they advanced, the maze introduced the final test. A massive barrier blocked the path forward, composed of floating energy nodes that required simultaneous activation. Each node reacted differently, some with force, some with delay, and some with unpredictable outcomes. The crew had to coordinate perfectly, trusting their instincts and each other. "This is it," Aaron said. "Focus on your node. Wait for the signal. Don't act until everyone is ready." The team worked in unison. Kyle calculated timing, Tessa guided movement, and Aaron coordinated the actions. One wrong move could collapse the entire system, but each member trusted the others completely. They pressed the nodes simultaneously. Lights flashed, energy rippled, and the massive barrier slowly opened, revealing a glowing passage leading to the final checkpoint. The crew exhaled collectively, their hearts racing from the intense challenge. Every obstacle, every shifting platform, and every moment of uncertainty had pushed them to their limits. And yet they had succeeded. They had adapted, collaborated, and persevered where others might have failed. Leora's voice came through the comms, calm and approving. "You have reached the final stage of this trial. Your intelligence, courage, and cooperation have been exceptional. Many species would have failed under these conditions, but humans, you have demonstrated qualities that are rare in the galaxy. You adapt, you innovate, and you care for one another. That is why you endure. The checkpoint glowed brighter, enveloping the crew in warm light. It was a symbol not only of their success but also of their growth. They had faced the unknown, navigated chaos, and maintained their humanity throughout. Aaron looked at each member of his crew, proud of their skill and bravery. They had proven that humans were more than just clever. They were resilient, resourceful, and compassionate. "Tonight we've done something remarkable," Aaron said quietly. "We've shown that humans can rise to any challenge even when the odds are impossible. But remember, this is not just about surviving the maze. It's about proving that humanity can stand among the stars, facing whatever comes with intelligence, courage, and heart." As the crew regrouped, they took a moment to appreciate the experience. The maze had tested them in ways they had never imagined. It had challenged their minds, their bodies, and their spirits. And through it all, they had emerged stronger, more united, and more confident in their abilities. Leora appeared briefly, standing among the glowing lights of the checkpoint. "You have succeeded where others would have faltered. Humanity's potential is extraordinary. Remember this feeling and carry it forward. The galaxy is vast, full of unknown challenges. But with courage, unity, and determination, you are capable of greatness." Aaron watched her, feeling the weight of her words. He realized that this trial was more than a test. It was a recognition of everything humans could achieve. They had faced the impossible and prevailed, not through sheer strength or advanced technology alone, but through cooperation, intelligence, and a belief in one another. As the crew prepared to leave the Chamber of Stars, a quiet excitement filled the air. The maze had pushed them to their limits, but it had also shown them their true potential. Humanity was capable of facing the unknown, adapting to the unexpected, and rising to any challenge. And tonight, they had proven it to themselves and to the universe. The checkpoint glowed softly as the crew took a moment to catch their breath. Commander Aaron looked at each member, seeing a mix of exhaustion and pride. They had faced trials beyond anything they could have imagined, yet they had endured. Every step in the maze had tested their skill, courage, and judgment, and they had succeeded together. Leora appeared in the center of the checkpoint, her presence calm and authoritative. Her robe had fully fallen away, revealing a uniform that shimmered faintly under the ambient light, a symbol of her rank within the Interstellar Council. For the first time, the humans could see the full authority she carried, and it was impossible to ignore the weight of her presence. "You have done well," Leora said, her voice echoing softly through the Chamber of Stars. "Every test in the maze was designed to measure not just your skill, but the qualities that define your species. You have shown intelligence, adaptability, courage, and compassion. These are the traits that set humans apart in the galaxy." Aaron stepped forward, his mind racing with questions. "Leora, what happens now? We've passed the maze, but what does it mean for humanity?" Leora's expression softened slightly. "It means that humanity is ready. You have proven that you can face uncertainty, adapt to new challenges, and act wisely even under pressure. These trials were not meant to intimidate you. They were meant to reveal your true potential. Many civilizations never reach this level of understanding about themselves." The crew listened intently, absorbing the significance of her words. For years, they had trained, explored, and survived in space. But this recognition was unlike anything they had experienced. It was more than personal accomplishment. It was a testament to humanity's place in the universe. "You have worked as individuals, but more importantly, as a team," Leora continued. "Your cooperation, trust, and care for one another have demonstrated that humans are not only capable but also wise in ways that many species are not. Strength without empathy is meaningless. Technology without judgment is dangerous. You have combined both, and that is why you have succeeded." Aaron felt a swell of pride and gratitude. His crew had faced impossible odds and had risen to the occasion. He thought of Tessa, who had nearly been lost, and Kale, whose quick thinking had guided them through dangerous obstacles. Every member had contributed in unique ways, and every contribution had mattered. "You are not just survivors of the maze," Leora said, her eyes shining with quiet intensity. "You are ambassadors of your species. The galaxy is watching, and you have proven that humans have the qualities needed to interact with civilizations far older and more advanced than your own. You have earned respect." For the first time, the crew truly understood the scale of what they had accomplished. They had faced tests designed to challenge every aspect of their being, physical, mental, and moral. They had not only survived, but had excelled, showing that humanity's potential extended far beyond what they had imagined. Aaron felt a surge of determination. "We will not fail that trust," he said. "If humanity is to be recognized among the stars, we will continue to learn, grow, and face every challenge with courage and intelligence." Leora nodded approvingly. "I believe you will, but remember, this is only the beginning. The galaxy is vast and filled with unknown dangers and opportunities. Tonight, you have proven yourselves worthy. Tomorrow your journey continues, and the skills, courage, and judgment you have displayed will guide you in ways you cannot yet imagine." The crew exchanged quiet smiles, a mixture of relief and pride washing over them. For so long, humanity had struggled to find its place in the universe, and now, in this chamber among stars, they had a glimpse of what was possible. They were no longer simply explorers. They were representatives of a species capable of greatness, tested and recognized by forces far beyond Earth. Leora extended a hand toward the crew. "Carry this knowledge with you. Remember the lessons of the maze. Trust one another, value intelligence and empathy equally, and face challenges with courage. Humanity's story among the stars is just beginning, and you are the first to write its chapters." Aaron looked at his team, his heart full. "We have learned that we are stronger together. We have learned that courage and wisdom are our greatest tools, and we have learned that humanity can rise to any challenge. Let us carry that forward wherever we go." As the glow of the checkpoint bathed the chamber of stars, the crew felt a sense of purpose unlike anything they had known. The maze had tested them, but it had also shown them their true potential. Humanity was ready for what lay ahead, not just to survive, but to thrive among the stars, bringing courage, creativity, and heart wherever it traveled. Leora gave a final nod, and then, slowly, she began to fade from view. "The next phase of your journey awaits," she said. "Remember what you have learned tonight and continue to prove that humanity is capable of greatness." With that, the crew stood together, looking out over the maze and the glowing stars beyond. The trials had ended, but the adventure was only beginning. They were no longer just humans in space. They were explorers, pioneers, and representatives of a species that had shown the universe what it could achieve. And for the first time, they truly believed it. The maze had faded behind them, leaving the crew in the quiet of the observation deck. The stars outside stretched endlessly, their light reflecting off the glass panels and casting long shadows across the room. Commander Aaron looked at his team, seeing exhaustion, relief, and a new sense of confidence in their eyes. They had faced the impossible and emerged victorious. Leora's presence remained, calm and commanding. She had guided them through the maze, tested their minds and hearts, and now watched with quiet pride. "You have proven yourselves," she said, "not only as individuals, but as representatives of humanity. Your courage, intelligence, and unity have shown that your species is capable of more than even you may realize." Aaron felt a deep sense of accomplishment, but also humility. The trials had pushed them to their limits, forcing them to face uncertainty, fear, and challenges that seemed impossible. Yet they had succeeded. "We did what we had to do," he said quietly. "We trusted each other, and we adapted. That is what makes us human." Tessa, still catching her breath, smiled. "It wasn't just skill or strength. It was how we worked together. We had each other's backs. That's what got us through." Aaron nodded. "Exactly. The maze tested our minds, our courage, and our judgment, but it also reminded us that unity and trust are as important as intelligence and skill. That is what makes humans different. That is what makes us strong. Leora stepped closer, her eyes bright with quiet approval. You have learned quickly, and you have demonstrated qualities that other species take centuries to understand. Humanity's potential is remarkable. The universe is vast and filled with unknown challenges. But you are ready. Your success tonight is the first step in a much larger journey. The crew gathered around the observation deck, looking out at the planet below. Its oceans shimmered in the starlight, and the continents stretched endlessly, untouched by human hands. For the first time, they felt the vastness of their responsibility. Humanity was no longer confined to a single world. It had a place among the stars, and with that came opportunity, responsibility, and hope. Tonight, we've learned something important, Aaron said. We've learned that humans can face the unknown, adapt, and rise to challenges that seem impossible. But more than that, we've learned that our greatest strength lies in how we treat each other. Courage, intelligence, empathy, these are what will guide us into the future. Kyle, who had been quiet for most of the journey, added thoughtfully, and we've proven that we can do it together. Alone, we might fail, but as a team, nothing is impossible. Leora smiled. That is the essence of humanity. You are capable of greatness not because of the tools you possess, but because of the heart and mind that drive you. Many civilizations focus on power, but power alone is not enough. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are what make a species endure. You have shown all of these tonight. The crew stood in silence for a moment, letting her words sink in. The trials had been more than tests. They had been lessons, teaching them not only about the maze, but about themselves. Humanity had faced the unknown and discovered its own potential, its capacity to adapt, to care, and to persevere. Aaron looked at Leora. What happens next? Is this the beginning of something larger? Leora's gaze extended toward the stars. Yes, the trials tonight were only the first step. Humanity has been recognized as a species capable of contributing to the larger interstellar community. Your successes here will serve as a foundation for cooperation, exploration, and understanding. The universe is watching, and now it knows that humans can rise to any challenge with courage, intelligence, and heart. A quiet sense of pride filled the room. The crew realized that their journey was no longer just about survival or exploration. It was about shaping the future of humanity in the galaxy. They had proven that humans were not only clever, but resilient, compassionate, and capable of great achievements. As the first rays of the distant sun touched the exoplanet below, Aaron felt a sense of hope and purpose unlike anything he had ever known. Humanity had faced the maze, faced the unknown, and emerged stronger. And now, with the recognition of distant civilizations, the journey ahead promised endless possibilities. We'll carry this forward, Aaron said firmly. Every challenge, every obstacle, every unknown, we'll face it together. Humanity has shown it can rise, and we will continue to rise, no matter what the universe throws at us. The crew stood together, united and inspired. Leora's figure shimmered one last time before fading completely, leaving them with a quiet sense of accomplishment and a vision of the future. Humanity had been tested, acknowledged, and now prepared to take its place among the stars. The observation deck was silent, but it was a silence filled with promise. The maze had ended, but the real adventure, the journey of humanity among the stars, was just beginning. And for the first time, they understood what it meant to be part of something larger, to be capable of greatness, and to carry the spirit of humanity into the infinite cosmos.